Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Red and Yellow Virtual Open Day. I'm Ashley Young, and I'm the head of sales here at Red and Yellow. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes just to allow some additional attendees to come through. So bear with us for the next minute or so, and we'll get cracking in about a minute. Alrighty, probably a good time to get started. For those that do come in the next few minutes, they'll join us into the agenda. But good afternoon and welcome to our Red and Yellow Virtual Open Day. I'm Ashley Young, the head of sales here at Red and Yellow. It's always such a privilege to share insights into Red and Yellow and what makes us such an incredible institution to study at. Some of the quick house rules for today's virtual open day, and those are: if you have any questions during the course of the presentation, please use the Q&A function to ask any of those questions, and we will of course host a QA right at the end of the session. And if you do get disconnected from Zoom, please feel free to just rejoin via the original link, and don't worry if you miss anything throughout any of the questions, or if your question doesn't get answered. We'll have the opportunity, or be more than happy to pick up those conversations with you individually after the session, and of course that's what our career advisors are there to support you with. We will also be sharing a recording of the webinar via email, together with a copy of any of the slides if you would like to see those or review those afterwards. But without further ado, let's jump into the agenda for today. And so this afternoon, we'll take a quick look into who we are as Red and Yellow and where we come from as an institution. We'll, of course, highlight some of our awards, industry associations, as well as our partnerships. And then, of course, we'll take you through the programs and offerings, which is really the big highlight for today. And then at the end, we'll host that QA session. So first of all, we are proudly one of the biggest feeders of talent into the creative and marketing industries. We've really been shaping the industry for over 30 years, and along the way, we've built an incredible reputation for providing graduates with not just the skills they need, but ensuring that they're industry ready. And we also form part of the Honoris United University Network, which some of you may have seen on our website, or if you look at our logo, you'll see the Honoris, the mention of Honoris. And then as part of that network, what it does is it allows us to deliver our programs and short courses across the continent. We already are delivering those courses in countries like Mauritius, Nigeria, most recently in Tunisia, as well as Namibia. So we're really going across the African continent and the SADC region. And of course, we do have individuals taking up our courses from all over the world, which is incredibly exciting. Just like any respected traditional universities in South Africa, we're fully accredited by the Council of Higher Education, and all of our qualifications are listed on the SAQA website, or that is South African Qualifications Authority. But I suppose, what does that really mean? And simply put, it means that our programs meet a stringent national quality standard, and it means that our qualifications and courses, they can all be recognized, they're credible, and they hold weight in the education landscape and the working environment. When it comes to digital marketing, we don't just teach it. We literally wrote the textbook on it. Our e-marketing, the essential guide to marketing in the digital world, has been downloaded over 1 million times and is regularly updated to stay ahead of the game. It's not just our students that make use of it. It is a prescribed textbook by a number of universities from all over the world. You can see some of their logos on screen. And so what it really means is, when you study any element of digital marketing at Red and Yellow, you're learning from the people that help define, as well as continue to define, the field and the industry of marketing in general. We're an incredibly proud institution and proud ourselves in what our students and faculty members have been able to achieve, especially over the last few years, where we've been a top-ranked school at the Loeries and Pendurings. We received a major international milestone for us as an institution last year, with being the number one creative college in Africa and the Middle East, and that rating came from the One Club. And what that meant for us as an institution is it put us up at the top 25th in sort of the creative colleges space. And we're not stopping there. We're really chasing that number one in the world is really the big BHAG for us, or big hairy audacious goal. And really what that is to become the most creative business school in the world. And 25 and counting is really where we sit right now. Um, I suppose it's worth noting where red and yellow comes from, and importantly, we were built from this bold idea, and the bold idea kind of stemmed from the need for more work-ready graduates, or people that could hit the ground running when joining industry or joining the working environment, and that was ultimately identified by three industry legends, Brian, Bob, and Alan, who you can see on screen. They saw this gap and decided to shake things up a little bit. And their vision was really to disrupt the traditional marketing education and ultimately shape the future of creative leaders. And that is really where we have this what we call this fusion of commercial logic and creative magic. And that's really where it was born, in that very moment. And today it's still the heart of everything we do as an institution, and it ties quite strongly into our mission. And our mission is quite simple. You can see it on screen, but more simply put, it's really to teach and shape the leaders of tomorrow. And I think for us as an institution, it's really making sure that we're making impact. We're here really to equip the innovators, the creators, and change makers with the most relevant and up-to-date industry-driven skills that they'll need to really make impact in the working environment. Skills don't just get you hired, but they help you make real impact in the working environment, and help you to really give that essence of creating magic in everything you do. And our results speak for themselves. I mean, and this really speaks to our graduates going into the working environment. And 94% of our graduates receive a job offer within 6 months of them finishing their studies at Red and Yellow. I'm not too sure of many institutions in South Africa that can really boast that 94% of their graduates get a job within 6 months. So it's really something that we pride ourselves on, and it's tied to our connection with industry and the impact that we want to make in the working environment. Then when looking at some of the more corporate focused elements of Red and Yellow as a business, we are all recognized, obviously, a leader in the creative business education. And over the decades, we've ultimately we have over a decade of experience in delivering and putting together impactful corporate training. Our strength really lies in tailored solutions for business. We work closely with clients to design training and directly addresses their particular business needs and challenges. Every one of our programs themselves could be built for relevance, that focus on the practical application as well as then the measurable outcomes. And I think that's a really important component. It's not just something that's slapped together. It really is. It's tied to those measurable outcomes. And this approach really ensures that our team is that your teams rather are not just learning, but they're ultimately growing the capabilities that translate into real business impact for you as an organization. We also focus on three core areas of expertise that really defines our approach to corporate education. And the first is looking at leadership and creative thinking. We help leaders balance the strategic thinking with the creative innovation to deliver results. And then second to that, we think about the digital skills. Our training spans critical areas like digital marketing, data storytelling, as well as then customer experience. And then finally, we also think of the client-centered or client-centric design. And here you're looking at it's tied into all of the programs that are more tailored to meet the specific business goals and ultimately delivered across multiple platforms. So they're really something exciting in our corporate training itself. And that's ultimately tied to highlighting, and I think important to highlight is as a business, we believe that some of our strength is the big connection and deep connection we have with industry. We've built a strong partnership with over 500 companies across the continent, including things like a number of your big brands, agencies, startups alike. I mean, you can see some incredible brands on screen at the moment, and it's well not limited to these in any way, shape, or form. And the as a result of this is our students in engagement through our short courses, our qualifications, they're exposed to not just the theory but the benefits of real world insights. There's regular guest lectures across our programs from industry leaders, creative entrepreneurs, and those just look at making mega impact in the business environments. So hearing from those types of individuals is really healthy throughout your education journey. And I firmly believe it's one of the key reasons that our graduates are in such high demand. We also have a really strong connection and network of agencies that we work with across the African continent. And this gives our students the chance to solve real world business challenges in our crossovers or brand challenges on campus. So there's a number of different ways that we actually actively engage with our agency partners through the experience and your studies with us. And this really, what it does is it brings the practical hands-on learning into the classroom, whether it's digital or in person. Then we also partner with a number of organizations and industry organizations across the world, and this really helps to try and keep our content as well as our credentials as an institution well recognized and understood. Some of the brands that you can see on screen, of course, include institutions like the Luries, Meta, Adobe, the Interactive Advertising Bureau, or the IAB, the One Club, the Project Management Institute, the CMO Council, and Nedbank IMC. And then, of course, you can see a couple of our international university partners that we partner with on campus with our students to give them an experience or working with other institutions, which makes sure that there's connection, there's continued relevance, and ultimately students are getting a global perspective of how things apply in context. And this slide is one that I think is incredibly exciting, and one that it kind of brings everything I've mentioned in a way together. And it's this powerful mantra, or this powerful idea that we live toward as an institution, and that's that fusion of commercial logic and creative magic. And it really resonates with me in terms of just bringing those two worlds together and just kind of seeing how it explodes into creating an environment of real excitement. And our programs themselves are all built on this philosophy. And what it does is it gives each and every single one of you that has access and engages with our content, it gives you insight into the strategic thinking, but also making sure that you're looking at the creative firepower that helps you to stand out from the crowd. And on the next slide, what we'll start looking at is our bouquet of short courses. We'll also look at some of our qualifications that we have on offer. And yeah, it's an exciting few slides that we'll be going through next. So onto our short courses, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the full bouquet of short courses which we have at the moment. I'm not going to do it in absolute detail, but really highlighting the full bouquet of over 44 courses which we currently have. And these include like a number of courses, data analysis as an example. We've got brand management, creative thinking. We've got designing for the metaverse. We've got customer service and customer experience. All of these are really interesting and good and exciting spaces for all organizations. The touch points here you'll see in every company and every business need. Then going on to the next bouquet of courses, we have things like front-end web development, which is one of our new and exciting courses. We've got digital marketing professional, media planning, mentorship, which is a course I've actually done and really was thrilled by the learning experience on it. So if you're somebody that works with young individuals coming into organization, or you have teams that you would like to mentor, a lovely opportunity to get involved in those. And of course, things like entrepreneurial thinking, if you're a business professional or thinking of starting your own business, or just thinking more entrepreneurial within your role, a really exciting course and one to certainly look at. Then looking at the rest of these courses, we have people management, project management, which I think is probably one of the most transferable skills in any business context, and should be tied to every single formal qualification that people do. We've got search engine optimization, which are really linking towards taking like digital marketing and then going deeper into the different facets of digital marketing. So we cover that full bookend of options. And then finally, looking at the last few courses, we have things like web design, sustainable marketing, and a work readiness program for fresh graduates that have just come out of studies, that are wanting to prepare themselves in a different perspective, or finish themselves or polish themselves in a different way, that they're able to hit the ground running and create a different expectation of what the working world may look like. Then on to our online distance degrees and qualifications, and some really exciting ones. We'll of course highlight some of our new programs, which as we continually grow and evolve as a school, you'll start to see more of these types of courses that we do. So highlight our brand spanking new postgraduate qualification, and for us a really exciting first step into the true postgraduate space, with many more courses and programs still to come. So the first one we will have a look at is our BCom in marketing, and this program's been around now for a good few years. This is a 3-year NQF Level 7 program, and it's an absolute must for anybody that's an aspiring marketer, somebody that's a business leader, or even somebody that is an entrepreneur or has entrepreneurship as something that they would like to achieve or really focus on. The online distance modality of this program, you'll actually have up to 6 years to complete the BCom. So that in itself gives flexibility to those of you that are working professionals that are ultimately looking to pursue a further qualification while still working. And nobody wants to quit their job and go back to studying full time, especially if you're in the working world. And this program, the way it is delivered, it gives you that flexibility. And what really strengthens the experience in this program is the real world expertise brought into the classroom with our lecturers, in ensuring that you're learning from people who have in the field or industry based experience, and really like they're able to bring the theory and the business context or the business world together into the classroom. I think important to highlight is also the minimum admission requirements to a number of these programs. So for our BCom, it is a true commerce qualification. So it does have slightly stringent requirements and really important ones that we need to highlight. So you would, of course, need to have a matric with an exemption or a bachelor's pass, or an NQF 4 equivalent. And then, of course, there are some other requirements within that. You need to at least have achieved 50% for English on your matric results. Mathematics, you would have need to have at least a minimum of 50%, or if you've taken mathematics literacy, you would need to achieve at least a 65% pass mark, or a category 5 marking schedule. And then, of course, there is the total APS score. And an APS score is really just taking all of your results and adding them up on your matric certificate. And it should give you a score that is equal or above 26, which excludes life orientation, just to make that clear. When you're doing that particular calculation, it does exclude life orientation. If you have any questions on that, or you're unsure of the requirements, please reach out to the career advisors. They're there to make sure that they're guiding you and giving everything you need to understand the requirements for the program, including the application items and what you would need to submit with that. Then a brand spanking new program, and this is one we're incredibly excited about. It really kind of builds off of the back of thinking out the true commerce route, but here going with a Bachelor of Business Administration, specializing in of course the marketing and brand management. And this program will be launching for the very first time in the new year in February. And the BBA is a 3-year qualification at NQF Level 7. The program is perfect for anyone that is either a school leaver or somebody that might be a mature student looking to build a career in either marketing, branding, or business leadership for that matter. Or anyone that perhaps is a creative who wants to explore something that is a little bit more strategic or managerial focused or driving business impact. If you've you kind of fit into any of those areas, it will certainly be an exciting program for you. It can also then apply to individuals that are aspiring entrepreneurs planning to either launch a venture or those individuals that are wanting to start something new. It does give you all of that exposure, and really it ultimately blends the creativity with the commercial insight, and it helps you to shape brands and deliver growth for organizations and businesses. So a really exciting program, and one that we're immensely looking forward to presenting and delivering, and having our first cohort of students on. And again, that will be taking effect from the new year in February. The minimum admission requirements here is a lot less stringent than the actual BCom qualification. You still need to achieve an APS score of 26. However, it doesn't require the mathematics subjects, so not necessarily needing 50% for maths or 65% for maths literacy. It does require that you have at least 50% for English, and of course a bachelor's pass, but just making sure that you do hit that APS score of 26 is the most important there. Then we have also a new program, and this is, as I mentioned earlier, it's one of the really exciting components for us is launching our very first core postgraduate qualification. And here we have our postgraduate diploma in creative leadership. It's a first of its kind in South Africa, and as I mentioned, our very first core postgraduate qualification. The program itself is offered online over 1 year, but you can also do it over a 2-year period, which really does then focus and align to those that are needing a little bit more flexibility as a working professional, and just wanting to make sure that they have a good balance between their professional obligations, but also then their academic aspirations. The program is ultimately designed to cultivate leaders who want to really excel in disruptive environments, but also promote fearless collaboration and turn visionary ideas into groundbreaking realities. So it's a well-rounded program and something incredibly exciting. It's suited to either the experienced or aspiring creative professionals, and all recent graduates looking to focus on things like innovation or business leadership. And again, I just want to ultimately iterate the program isn't just for creatives. It is focused. Of course, it's got the creative swing to it, but it is also a program that can be tied to anybody in the business setting and what have you. It's not just a core creative program. It is really incredibly immersive, and it gives students that cutting edge creative theories that you can use in a myriad of different practices within the business environment. It will help you advance your organization as well as your career. So a really exciting program. Of course, the requirements here is that you would you would need to have at least an undergraduate qualification at an NQF level 7, whether that be a degree qualification or an advanced diploma. Any of those type of programs would be considered. Things like recognition of prior learning certainly do apply. So if you've got a history of 10, 15, 20 years worth of industry related experience, and you would like to pursue a postgraduate qualification, you can have those conversations with your career advisor too around the recognition of prior learning option. Then we have our advanced diplomas, and the first one which we're going to talk about is our advanced diploma in digital marketing, also dubbed ADDM. So if I use that acronym, I do apologize. And just the context for it, it's ultimately ideal for any of those of you that want to dive deeply into the world of digital marketing. This program is only offered over a 2-year period part-time, and it does require you to be available for some live classes, which happens digitally, and those classes they either happen on the evenings or the weekends. So certainly a program that gives you a little bit more of the hands-on. It does have that component of synchronicity, meaning that you would need to be there for a particular live session. This course is perfect for anyone that is either a marketing graduate and or a professional who ultimately wants to gain the edge in understanding the digital marketing environment. Anyone looking to ultimately master the practical skills and gain an in-depth knowledge needed to become successful in the professional digital marketing environment. So a really exciting program. The requirement here is either an NQF level 6 qualification or an NQF level 7 qualification to get into the advanced diploma. And this is yeah, the same rules apply for recognition of prior learning and that application process. But yes, really exciting program, and one that's recently been revamped and relooked at. So everything is up to date and cutting edge in terms of what you will learn throughout the program. Next, we have our Advanced Diploma in Marketing and Advertising Communication, or our MAC program. This program is also offered over 2 years part-time at an NQF level 7. What's exciting is that from day one on this program, you'll really be immersed into the scope of the industry through a highly practical way. Early on in the program, you'll be required to experience and enhance your interpersonal or personal skills through working with classmates on a group project throughout the entire year. This program ultimately exposes you to the cutting edge industry processes such as integrated marketing communication, viral marketing, and then of course things like your digital marketing communications. This program is highly recognized and incredibly revered in industry. It provides you with the real competitive edge that you need to make meaningful impact in the working environment. This program also has quite a unique industry crossover experience, or a brand challenge, where you and your classmates will be working on that throughout the year, or over the 2-year period, and then culminating in working with a big brand and delivering an incredible complete end-to-end perspective of how the product can evolve and transform and really make impact based on the particular brief that you have. So it's incredibly practical. You're certain to get that real world experience that you will need and want throughout a program. Then we have our Advanced Diploma in Copywriting. This program is also offered over 2 years on the part-time basis. It is an NQF level 7, and throughout this program, you'll of course be able to sharpen your mind, your pen, as well as your writing skills. So if you're really passionate about working with words and making the most of that, this is a program that brings you to the forefront. It teaches you to think conceptually, as well as then it focuses on that creativity in order to make you a strategic thinker, focusing on sort of things like content development, idea incubators, and then the authority to really create a compelling brand story. So the program really exciting and ultimately developed and put together by industry heavyweights that really know what they're talking about in the copywriting space, and I think copywriting is one of those spaces where it's such a in-demand skill set right now. So if you're feeling really strongly towards making a difference in this space, like, by all means, take a look at the program. It's really exciting. Also, with the advanced diploma, it does require at least an NQF level 6 national diploma type of qualification, or either an NQF level 7 degree program to get into this program. Then we have our Advanced Diploma in User-Centered Design. This program is also offered over 2 years part-time and is an NQF level 7. With this qualification, you'll be equipped to really apply the strong strategic thinking and deep understanding of what drives human behavior to conceptually create ideas that ultimately solve problems, and also look at things like how things are operating from a modern design perspective, or looking at modern problems, understanding the user journeys and user experience of how things fit together and should evolve. And so very practical, very engaging, and something it's gonna challenge you to think of new ways to solve problems or complex business problems. So if you're one that really is excited about things like UX design, if you're interested in interfaces or the user experience, journey mapping, all those sorts of things that are really integral into creating an exciting user experience, this is a program that's going to give you everything you need and more, and ultimate fulfillment within your study journey. Also, the requirement for the program is, of course, the NKF 6 national diploma or a degree, a 3-year degree qualification. Then a final mention, just in terms of the qualifications, here we have our a national certificate in advertising. It has a specialization in digital marketing. It is an NQF level 5 program and can be completed in 1 year online. The program is ultimately tailored for those that are wanting to get, I suppose, their first insight into the digital marketing environment. So people that are aspiring marketers who are eager to break into the field, or perhaps somebody that perhaps lacks that digital skill required to really make impact in the environment, or ultimately going like, I have a good understanding of these things, but I need something really to validate me and give me that confidence and competence in my own ability to really make the right moves within the environment. This is really that first starter point for a number of students. It's also perfect for those that have the analytical minds who ultimately want to harness the power of the internet, social media, e-commerce, and e-commerce platforms to ultimately build successful businesses. So that is one of the immediate benefits after completing the program, is you'll have those skills and competencies to feel really comfortable in those environments. Then important to note is right now our qualifications, they're all open for application. We have 2 intakes that are currently open at the moment. We have our mid-year intake for a number of our programs, and then we have the February 2026 application window is currently open for online studies too. And all of the applications, or everyone that's submitting an application now and up until the end of June, so yeah, time's ticking with regards to those applications. We are giving an early application discount, meaning that you will only have to pay 2,000 Rand for your registration fee, which is once you've been accepted on the program. And for some programs, dependent on whether it's the part-time program or the online programs, you save anything from between 2,500 up to 7,500. So really exciting. A really exciting opportunity to take advantage of the early application window, which we currently have, and absolutely no harm in getting that application in sooner rather than later. So with that, I really do want to say thank you for the opportunity to just speak to what makes Red and Yellow such an incredible institution, and give you some insight into what qualifications and programs we have on offer. I hope it was fruitful and you got a lot of information you needed. One final plug from my side is really to make sure that you're taking advantage of the opportunity to speak to our career advisors, and as well as our student advisors on a full time, depending on how you may have come through today. But you can either contact us via our website. We have a live chat functionality there. You can also have a chat within your team through WhatsApp. You can give us a buzz on the 087 number. You can email registrations@redandyellow.co.za. That comes through to the online team, and the career advisors will quickly pick those up, try to get you on the phone, have a conversation, understand your need, and match the appropriate program to your specific needs and desires. And then, of course, you can check out any of our programs on our website. It's looking great, and lovely opportunity to explore all of the different options. If any of you would like to download our textbook, feel free to do that. The textbook is fully available on our website. It is entirely for free, and really gives you the nicest insight into the world of digital marketing. And once again, it is something that is iterated rather regularly, every few years or so. So be sure to come back in a couple of years and make sure that you're downloading the latest version, and getting those insights and understandings into the world of digital marketing, or e-marketing for that matter. So that's it in terms of the formal presentation component. I do see that there are a few QAs or questions that have come through. I'm going to stop sharing my screen in the interim, and I'm going to invite Stefan Hill onto screen too. Stefan is one of the team leads over the online education programs, and he's going to assist me with making sure that I'm not over explaining any of the requirements or any of the elements for the program. He's an expert in dealing with questions on a daily basis. I do note that there have been a few QAs that have come through. Steph, perhaps you can jump onto the first one. The first one was with regards to the application requirements for the qualification programs. What needs to be submitted? How quickly or regularly does that need to happen? And then I suppose, secondary to that, I'll jump over the two questions, is just how do I find out about the fees and the costs for the particular programs?
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley, and good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, so depending on the program, there is a different application process for the program. So let's start with the national certificate. National certificate entry requirements. So it's an NQF5 program that you're applying for with the possible qualification of with the NQF5 program. You will need a minimum of matric to qualify for those programs. It's a very simple application process. A form that you need to complete, we'll need a certified copy of your ID, and just a CV, as simple as that. If there's no CV, if it is for one of your kids leaving school, just a short motivational letter telling us a bit about themselves and why they'd like to enter the program. So that's for all our national certificates, which is at an NQF5 level. The next would be our NQF7. NQF7 we would need a minimum of NQF6, which Ashley touched on earlier, which is obviously a diploma or higher. That will give you the opportunity to apply for the program. For all our NQF7 programs, we would need certified copies of qualifications, IDs, all of that. And then we will have skills tests for each of the programs. So depending on the discipline you're applying for, the skills tests will differ. So it's the one for advanced diploma in digital marketing, or the part-time programs, which is the user-centered design, copywriting, or what was the other one? Marketing and advertising. What I would suggest you guys do is get in contact with your career advisor to explain that in more detail, and they'll be able to share those specific skill tests with you. In terms of costing, you are more than welcome to visit our website. There are application forms that's downloadable on our website. Those application forms will list all of our payment options, or at least the fees. If you would like somebody to chat to you around that and explain to you about payment plans, we do offer those on all of our programs. We'll be more than happy. Our career advisors will be more than happy and eager to unpack that with you. But yeah, so just in a nutshell, application process. It's not like our short courses. There is a process that we need to follow. Application form that needs to be completed. Some documents you have to send through to us in order to submit the application. Where our short courses is as simple as you running to our website and checking out. Simple as that. Okay, I'll jump into it.
Wonderful. Thanks, Stefan. I suppose there are a couple of other questions just coming through, and there's a couple of these that kind of allude to graduation and understanding what that looks like for students that study in the online modality. Perhaps with Steph, perhaps with highlighting the differences with regards to the short courses and then the qualifications themselves.
Okay, Ash, answered. Yeah, so I saw one of the questions was around, is there a graduation ceremony for somebody that's doing a national certificate? So all our national certificates are CETA accreditations, qualifications. We do have a CETA graduation for those specific programs. So anybody on the NQF5 programs or looking to join our NQF5 programs, don't worry, we will have a graduation ceremony specifically for you. And if you are currently enrolled in the program, your program administrators will be in touch with you in terms of when that will happen and dates, etc. The advanced diplomas, our NQF7 and our NQF8, yes, we do have a graduation ceremony for them. We have it in Cape Town. And whether it's online, part-time, or with our full-time students as well, the graduation ceremony is done together as one. So even though you are studying online or part-time and you're not in Cape Town, etc., we will have a graduation ceremony for you guys. And yeah, that's generally when we get to meet everybody face to face, because in the background we know exactly all the hard work that's been done by you guys. So it's always nice and quite exciting for us to meet you guys. So yes, it will definitely be a graduation ceremony around those programs.
Wonderful. And then I suppose I don't mind answering this question myself. I'm quite confident and comfortable with this one, Steph. Do your short courses carry some the same employability opportunities as the full short courses or the full qualifications and that you would use to upgrade? So an interesting question, and thank you for the question. The important thing is that short courses themselves are ultimately standalone short courses. They are separate to qualifications. They are, for the most part, the short courses themselves can be accredited, so you can get accredited short course, but it's not at the same weighting. It's not as the same weighting as doing a full module on campus or studying on campus. So when it comes to the employability component to that, you still form part of the red and yellow alumni, whether you do a short course or you do a full length qualification. So what that means is that you'll have access to things like Red and Yellow Connect, which is our version of LinkedIn per se, where students will have the opportunity to put their CVs, to look at working opportunities that are available. As we mentioned throughout the presentation, we partner with a number of organizations and institutions, and those institutions themselves, they often are putting job opportunities for anybody that may be looking to apply from the alumni network of Red and Yellow. So yeah, I mean the qualifications themselves, the 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 way we measure our employability off of the back of that is based off of our full length qualifications. Majority of the individuals doing our short courses are working professionals, those that are looking to either validate a particular skill set, learn something new, pivot in their particular careers. So the way that we measure those things, we don't measure them together, but ultimately a short course or doing any qualification, and I suppose it's worth making this clear, we can never guarantee employment to anybody or guarantee that you're going to get that promotion or guarantee that things are going to happen from doing these courses, but they certainly do help in putting the appropriate motivations and those sorts of things forward. Steph, hopefully I've given that justice and addressed the question. Okay, I get a thumbs up. Perfect. Then a question for you, Steph, is I have I have a diploma in marketing, which I've completed and would like to do the Bachelor of Commerce in Marketing program as an example. Do I need to then study all full 3 years, or will I be able to get credits and those sorts of things toward the program?
Thanks, Ash. That's a good question. So we'll have to look at the actual qualification that you completed. So we'll need like your transcript and to see the actual subjects and the subjects, the module numbers. We do have the opportunity to credit you with the credits you've already completed. If there is any overlaps, you won't have to actually do that module again. But like I said, we would need to look at the actual your transcript to see if there are any subjects that are kind of duplicated across the program. If that's the case, you won't have to do it again. Yeah, the best thing to do is to chat to your career advisor around that. And they will be able to provide you with the necessary forms in order for you to complete and a list of documents that we require. Once we receive those documents, we'll send it off to our admin team or our faculty, and they'll be able to kind of make the decision in terms of what subjects would you not have to do again. Yeah. So yes, you don't have to. It will be the 3 years. It's just that certain modules within those 3 years you won't have to do again if you've done it before.
I suppose just to overemphasize the point here is that when you apply for credits across from one institution to the other, it does vary from institution to institution how many credits you can carry over with regards to a qualification. And invariably, for most institutions around South Africa, you can't carry more than 50% of your credits over from one institution to the other. So if you've completed 2 years of your qualification, it's unlikely that you're all of a sudden going to slot into the 3rd year and continue your qualification that way. There will be a number of other modules that you may have to pick up or redo in any given instance. Then also with regards to applying for credit, it's not just looking at the actual transcript of results that you've had. It's a complete deep dive into the modular breakdown, the learning outcomes and the learning objectives that are tied to the credit application. And I mean, I don't mean that in a financial sense, but the credit application towards your studies. And within that, the faculty will look at there's a particular percentage that the modules need to be similar before we give credit for those particular modules. Generally, across institutions, it's between 75 and 80% similarity. For most institutions, it's never 100%. I haven't at least come across something that requires 100% similarity. I think it's almost impossible for the most part. There was another question with regards to are the qualifications themselves valid or accepted globally? And this is actually one of my favorite questions. So thank you very much, Roxanne. I think the important component here, and really just highlighting this, there is no such thing as an internationally recognized qualification in the true sense. There is no body in the world that exists that evaluates all qualifications or approves all qualifications in every country. Every country has its own version of SAQA, which is South African Qualifications Authority, that looks to evaluate qualifications or international qualifications for an equivalency standpoint. We obviously, with the way we present and the way that we develop our programs, they need to be approved and registered with SAQA. So they also need to be at a particular NQF level. So when you take a qualification overseas, as an example, and the international body would then review your qualification and see its equivalency. One thing I can say without any concerns, we have students and alumni that are based all over the world. None of them have any issues with getting into further studies at international universities and institutions. They've made great success of getting employment into international companies on a global scale. So yes, the qualifications and red and yellow brand is incredibly well known and in the global standpoint. So yes, your qualification is likely to be recognized. It certainly won't be accredited globally, but it will be recognized by institutions and by evaluation bodies on a global scale. Then the next question is with regards to a higher certificate question. This is one with the higher certificate in business principles and practice, likely through the IIE. And I'd like to pursue a course offered in broad opportunity that isn't limited. Could you recommend a suitable program?
Yes, I can. Since based on the limited amount of information that I have in that message, I would there's two programs that stands out for me. I would look at the part-time advanced diploma in marketing and advertising. It's I actually covered this a second ago, but just to give you a little short explanation, it's a well-rounded program that covers, business, marketing principles, strategic thinking, creative problem solving. And it's a kind of a strong next step if you're looking to build on, your current knowledge that you do have, and obviously to unlock a range of opportunities across business and marketing landscape. What I would also look at is the advanced diploma in digital marketing. I think we use this in a lot of collateral. If you're looking to kind of future-proof your career, look at the advanced diploma in digital marketing, because that's what it is. This program it's the first program introduced on the African continent, which was at an NQF 7 level, completely online. It has been updated since then. Of course, we want to ensure that we are relevant in the industry. But yeah, it's very practical, high demand skill set. It offers a deep insight into digital strategy, analytics, content marketing, and more. And I think I'm a firm believer in this day and age, it's as crucial to have a digital skill set as it is to kind of do math on school. That's what I always tell my kids. So we're really kind of upskilling them in the digital way. and having a digital skill set is going to be important. So just based on the information you gave in your message or in your question, those are two programs that I think would be the ones that stand out. We do offer more, but it'll be lovely to get in touch with one of your career advisors to get a bit of a go a deeper dive into what it is you need. What's your short-term goal and what's your long-term goal, and we'll be able to kind of attach some products or offerings to that as well. So yeah, thank you for the question.
Thank you, Steph. Then we had another question with regards to if I have an undergrad or a BA in film, would I still be able to do the postgraduate diploma qualification? Yes, certainly. My recommendation for that, Mpilo, is to reach out to your career advisor, have a conversation with them regarding the application process. The postgraduate diploma in creative leadership is an NQF level 8 qualification. Assuming that your BA in film, which I'm pretty confident, is at an NQF level 7, you shouldn't have any issues with that qualification applying towards the postgraduate diploma. But you will obviously then supply all the documentation. There is a skills test that goes with applying towards the postgraduate diploma, like pretty much every single one of the programs has a skills test component to it. Please don't stress about it. It's something that is relatively straightforward for the most part, understanding your motivation and understanding your idea of how things apply in context of the particular program you're applying toward. So I hope that addresses your question. And then we had a further question with regards to what NQF level 4 courses do we have? I'm not sure if you're meaning at a short course level or a qualification level, but majority of our short courses themselves are actually pitched between an NQF level 5 to level 7. For the most part, they sort of average in that pitched at an NQF level 6 rate or level. And then from a qualification standpoint, we do have a few new programs that are coming into the forefront at the moment that are QCTO programs. And those QCTO programs are taking the place of CETA programs historically, as the transition from CETA to QCTO is underway at the moment. There are a few of those that are at an NQF level 4. So Kopano, I'd recommend just engaging with career advisors. Check out the website there. You can see the full list of QCTO programs that are currently or upcoming for availability, and having a chat with those career advisors to look at those options. Then, Stefan, another question for you with regards to an undergraduate course that is focused in copywriting. Is there anything that we have in that offering at this stage?
Yes, we do. The National Certificate in Digital Content and Copywriting would be a good option. It is an NQF 5. It runs completely online for 1 year, and then, well, we don't have a postgrad, but we do have an advanced diploma in copywriting as well, which is the part-time program we mentioned earlier. That's an NQF 7 though. Looking for undergrad, we're probably looking at the national certificate. It's going to be the closer one for you. But like I said, the advanced diploma in copywriting would be an option as well, providing that you do have a minimum of an NQF 6, a diploma or higher qualification. Yeah.
Then another question, which Martin posed in the QA, listening on behalf of his daughter, who's currently interested in design and currently working in a bottling company in KZN. Really just summarizing it here, Martin, but ultimately just looking to complete her matric this year, and then looking at any of the courses or qualifications that may give her the option to get a study visa. Do we have any courses that work with study visa purposes? And given the context and the company that she's working in and has an offer, what courses might we recommend?
Great. Just to cover the visa part. So what we do on our behalf, if you're studying online specifically, we do assist with a letter when it comes to visa. So we don't facilitate the process or help facilitate the process, but from our end, we do provide a letter to prove that your daughter will be a student, and then she'll apply for the visa. So that's something that we definitely do on our end, not a problem. Then just in terms of the opportunity that you might have with the bottling company and seeing that the marketing department, are looking to do things in-house. She's looking to finish matric. After matric, that'll be an NQF4. She'll automatically be able to apply for an NQF5. So any one of our national certificates, firstly, she'll be able to apply for. I would look at the digital marketing, the one in advertising that specializes in digital marketing. I think that will be a good fit. Alternatively, actually looking at a 3-year degree within BCom marketing. Ashley alluded to, or actually explained the APS scoring earlier. And we do have your details. Martin will reach out to you sometime today just to unpack it further. But yeah, BCom Marketing National Certificate in Digital Marketing would be the best bet for her, seeing that she's going into the marketing role. The nice thing about the National Certificate is there's a part of content creation and a bit of copywriting that gets covered there as well. Seeing that she's interested in design, that might be, you know, a nice fit for her. And the BCom Marketing, which is a full-on degree, will really set her apart, you know, when it comes to actually, you know, the position that she's in, if she's looking to kind of grow within the company or if she's applying for that opportunity. So I think those two are the good options. Your career advisor will reach out to you a bit later just to unpack that further with you, Martin. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Steph. And I'm going to address the sort of the last three questions relatively quickly here. And these will be the last three. And if there are any questions, I do apologize. I see that there were a few questions that were in the chat, and I've been trying to trawl through those to make sure that we're not missing any of them. But if there is anything we have missed, by all means, please feel free to reach out to the team. The career advisors are happy to address any further questions that you may have, or even later today as you're processing some of the information we've spoken about today. If there's anything you need, like, feel free to reach out. Our team is more than happy to have conversation with you and spend, you know, multiple minutes, hours, or even, you know, video calls, whatever we need to do. We're happy to have those conversations and make sure that you're well informed. The first one is the first one of the last three that I'm going to present here is any prerequisite modules needed to be completed for the NQF8, or just have an NQF7 qualification. It literally, to get into the PG dip in creative leadership, you only need an NQF level 7 qualification. There's no prerequisite modules. There's no prerequisite requirements. So by all means, please, if you are looking at looking at that qualification, yeah, reach out to us. We can chat through the application process. But if you have an NQF 7, all good, and happy for you to apply with that. Then can the short courses themselves apply for credits toward degree programs if you have a diploma or a matric with a matric pass? Unfortunately, not. As I mentioned earlier, the short courses themselves are standalone short courses. Invariably, they're aligned to between 4 and 6 credits, and generally, if you're looking at a full module credit, it is a minimum of around 15 credits per module. So it's about a third of completing a module in the formal context of studies at a university. So unfortunately, the short courses themselves don't apply for credits towards full-length qualifications. They're not stackable in that way. Micro credentialing, for the most part, is not something that is well identified or accepted in the South African context at this stage. Who knows, in the next sort of several years, we might see some changes in the Department of Education with regards to their view on micro credentialing, but at this stage, unfortunately not. Then the last question is with regards to advanced courses that follow an introduction to project management. We actually, from a short course perspective, we do have project management courses, and is a relative introduction. But Steph, is there anything you'd want to give insight on with regards to the project management courses?
Yes, that's from Roxana. How are you doing, Roxana? I know that you're my student. I chatted to you before. So currently, the project management, the one that we initially shared with you, that's the one that we have running for now. We do have the advanced project management in the pipeline, firstly, in terms of short course offerings that we have. Looking at 2026 as a release date, the date will probably be communicated later in the year. Probably towards the end of the year, and then we'll have a good idea in terms of when that will be released. And then, yeah, we also have a project manager occupational certificate as well. That's actually running. I think we have running at the mid-year. It's an NQF5 occupational certificate in project manager. It does run for 2 years though. And yeah, it's live on our website. You'll be able to see it on our website as well. That is an occupational certificate at an NQF5 level, which is over a period of 2 years, and that's presented online as well.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Steph. I appreciate your insights and your help with some of those questions. But once again, thank you, everybody. I really do appreciate your time. For those of you that stayed all the way to the end, we absolutely appreciate you. And if you have any further questions, like feel free to reach out. We're happy to help, and excited to work with you on your education journey moving forward. Have a wonderful day, and look out for the email with the recording and the presentation deck itself. Have a good day. Bye-bye.